Hi everyone, my name is Hans Eguinoa. I'm with the Royal Podencos from Spain, and you are listening to Rock at Night.
Yeah. Are you ready? Hey, tonight I'm gonna take you on a little trip. We're going down south by the mighty Mississippi. I'm gonna take you to a place where lights never dim. Bring your mother, your brother, and your best friend. I'm gonna show you where they dance out in the street. They'll tell you all about your body heat. Not gonna talk about it, just gonna do it. Get on down if you feel good. Get on down.
This is Charisse with Rock at Night, and today we are speaking with Hans Eguinoa of the garage rock band, the Royal Podencos. He is in Spain. We're going to ask him about how he got started, basically get to know the band. I've been familiar with them for, I don't know, maybe a year and a half, couple years or so, because we had the garage rock issue and the band was presented in the magazine. And I've been listening to your Serotonin for the last year on Spotify. In fact, it came up as one of the most played albums, when they do the annual list. So anyway, Hans, garage rock.
I,
Did you grow up listening to garage rock? How did you guys get into garage rock?
I grew up listening to, when I was a kid in Sweden in the 70s, kids would listen to Kiss or Iron Maiden, which was like the bands you had to choose between. My favorite band was Kiss because I thought they were so cool looking, and I always thought this visual thing in rock music or whatever pop is kind of an extra that makes the music even, I don't know, it kind of makes it grow. Um, and and then I kind of got away from that kind of music. I would say in the second half of the 80s, I was doing other stuff, maybe listening even more to hip hop. Uh, I also went to the States and did a year of high school there in 89 to 90. And that was like everybody was listening to hip hop and to rap music. And I really got into that. And then I got back from the States, and this band called Guns N' Roses bashed through and really was, well, they came out at the end of the 80s, but I hadn't heard them that much. But my friends had picked them up in Sweden when I got back in 1990. So that really got me back to rock and roll music, and I was like very inspired by Slash's guitar playing, and that's more or less when we started playing, and when I started playing with people in Sweden. Got my first electric guitar, like a Gibson Les Paul copy, of course,
Mm-hmm.
and really, started playing stuff I wanted to play, and that I could, relate to, because I had played a little bit of guitar before that at school, and then really didn't couldn't relate to what I was playing. We were reading notes and playing like not classical stuff, but old Swedish folky things
Mm-hmm.
that I that I didn't really like. So this was really like, yeah, it was exploding for me, the interest in rock. And we went to see Guns N' Roses in 91 in Stockholm, and I started to go to more shows and see more bands. And also in the 90s there was this big, I would say, indie wave in Stockholm, in Sweden, of Brit pop, Brit indie pop inspired, like from Britain, like Blur, Oasis kind of music.
Mm-hmm.
So I consider myself more of a indie kid, than garage rocker. But then in the maybe 10 years later, the beginning of this century, I kind of, at the end of the 20th century, 98, 99, I got away from rock music again. I was doing other stuff, and then the Strokes came along, and I really got, really liked them a lot. So, and the all the bands that follow the Strokes, like Franz Ferdinand, Kings of Leon, yeah,
Mhm.
just several bands that really got me back to listening to that kind of music. So, uh, yeah, sorry, interruption here. Uh, and so, and then I was living in Spain, and I was playing my first bands in Spain because I moved down here in 95, no, 96. So I started playing in a band in Madrid for several years. We even got signed down there in the 2006 or so, and but we were more eclectic, I would say. I would probably start bringing in some garage stuff because some of the bands from the beginning, I mean, the Strokes and so was had some garage.
Well, the
Uh,
Hives. I love
oh,
the
the Hives,
Hives.
yeah, of course.
Hives and the Strokes. In fact, the Royal Podencos sound a lot like both of those bands, which I love.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe too much sometimes. I don't know. I've been very inspired by Casablanca singing, but that's another story. But uh, but then I moved up to Santander in 2008, which is a smaller city, and it's not Madrid. It's like 200,000 inhabitants, and I just found out that they have a rock scene here. They have some venues and they have some bands, and I was like very I would say impressed by how much people knew about, especially garage rock and strange, obscure bands that I had never heard of. I started, jamming with some guys here and playing, and then we eventually I got to know the guys that are the Royal Podencos today, and and they were all bringing in these covers that we had to do to like, get a set list for our first show, and I'd never heard of it, and it was, well, I've heard some of it, but they were very into that kind of
Mhm.
60s, 70s sounds. That really not too much relation to. I had listened to stuff that, of course, and I mean the Stones, all that, but they had so much more to bring to me, which was, well, I would say, rock education and
Mhm.
learning about sounds and about playing techniques and things that and then all that is like a mixture in what we are today. I think we do garage. We have some indie tunes as well. We also, so we don't really like to classify ourselves. We found that hard. We just do we do what we like basically, and if people like it, we're very happy. So.
Well, I notice you guys harmonize. It's not just straight garage rock. You actually have melodies and you
Yeah.
harmonize. Your vocals are
Mm.
great.
Mm.
We have on our Rock at Night playlist Stockholm City, which I love that song. So you actually started the band, what, around 2016 or something like that?
No, no, it's earlier. We're actually 10 years this
Oh,
year,
wow.
or in 2022. We did our first show 10 years ago in March this
Mhm.
year. And then yeah, that year we played maybe 3 or 4 shows, and we started to do our first, preparing our first recording. Yeah, and then I think we recorded our second album in 2017. And then in 2019, we had material ready to do our third album, but I broke my foot in 19 because I fell
Oh,
really
man.
badly. So I broke my heel, which is pretty, it takes a long time to recover, and so we couldn't rehearse really. And then when I got well, it was like March 2020, so the pandemic came, and I was like, oh, when I'm ready to go out and do
Mhm.
all the things I haven't been doing,
Yeah.
we had lockdown here, so it took us much more than we wanted to
Mhm.
record Serotonin, but I think that was good because we had time to think things over. Even I think maybe half of the songs actually came along during the pandemic because it was, I don't know, for us or for me, it was inspiring. It was, you had time to do things. This was all this strange. terrible things going on, and I don't know. I found a lot of relief, I think, playing and thinking about songs, these little things that still were, the same in the world.
The band, I noticed you have a lot of gigs in your area in Spain. Are you guys planning to perhaps perform outside of Spain, like the UK?
Yeah, we would love to do that. We don't say no to anything. The thing is that we all have works and families and kids, so that's, something I would love to go to the UK and play. Maybe we're looking for some kind of event or some where somebody,
Like a
listens
festival. There's a
to
lot
the
of
band. Yeah, that would
summertime
be,
is festival season,
yeah,
and maybe you guys could
that would
take a couple
be,
weeks off and
yeah.
just hit some
Maybe
places.
maybe you can recommend some festivals for us to contact, because
Well,
it's hard. We don't have any management really that take care of this for us, so we do it ourselves, basically everything. Even in Spain, we have to like knock on doors, and we don't have anybody taking care of that for us. We, basically, because there is a garage scene in Spain with like garage festivals, but since I wouldn't say we are a pure like 60s or 70s garage rock band, like really like or pub rock or like party, not really party music on this, at least not on the last album. So it takes a little more to listen to our album. We have to listen to maybe from what we heard is that like people that start listening to it like yourself,
I
they
listen
just
to it a lot in
keep
the
playing it
car.
and have
Yeah.
it around for a year, and that's really flattering. Today I got a message from a friend of mine in Stockholm. He's a teacher, and he had been talking to one of his school kids. He's like in ninth grade, so he's maybe around 15.
Mm-hmm.
And he had recommended us, and now he's like really crazy about Royal Podencos, like
Oh
a
my
15-year-old
goodness.
kid in Stockholm. And it's like, how did that happen? And he's like, he will go anywhere if you come even close to
Well,
Sweden. And we've been
well,
to Sweden. We went to Sweden to play in 16, I think it was. So that's something we would like to do again. And the UK, yeah, France is close as well. So why not? I mean, we're just three hours from France, driving from Santander. So maybe South France would be cool.
I notice a lot of American bands actually go to Spain and
Hmm.
tour, and they're garage
Yeah,
rock bands. It seems like there's an active scene over there in a lot of venues that you could
yeah,
actually probably tour around Spain.
yeah.
But Barcelona,
Spain has a really good scene. I mean, people are complaining around here, but they don't know. They haven't been around. Just I can just compare with Sweden, but Sweden is like to get paid from a gig where like there are 50 people, just forget it. They won't pay you because that's like they have to cover the costs of sound technicians or engineering or people working at the bar. So yeah, Spain has a good scene, a lot of small venues that like the guy who runs the bar does the sound, and they have like a equipment, but maybe not the best equipment, but you can do a gig and you can get people from that town or area to get down there, and there's still an active scene. I mean, rock and roll is dead, but it's not dead here yet. So there are people that are.
I don't think rock ever died in Europe. I think in the 90s when things were changing in the United States, they were still
Hmm.
rocking over in Europe.
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of, if you see like big bands like, I don't know, mainstream band come and play, people go and watch it. But what I think people should do is to uh, discover that there are still like new bands coming out with taking rock or pop or whatever you want to call it to another level, or not necessarily better, but there are new stuff coming out, and that's what it's all about, right? Taking
Well,
old
I'm
stuff and giving it a new shape and taking it.
that's what I'm seeing is they have what they call new classic rock. A lot of
Hmm,
people are tired of, let's say, synthesizers, electronic music, and they're going back to the 60s sound, the garage rock,
hmm,
and 70s sound with real lyrics and real harmonies.
hmm.
That's what I've been noticing, a trend like that. One question I wanted to ask, how did you get your name of the band?
Mm, you should ask the bass player and Tony and Jota, the other guitar player. It's some strange story about like this. You know the baseball cards that you have in the States when you collect
Yes.
baseball cards and you
Mhm.
stick it into an album. This
Mhm.
was a Podenco is a dog,
Yeah, Spanish
uh,
dog, correct? Yeah.
Spanish Podenco. Yeah, so they had this card with the Podenco, and and they thought, we were talking about band names, several things coming up, and they said Podenco, Royal Podenco, and we said, yeah, that why not? It was like they had some kind of personal story with that card, but I can't talk about that on the air,
Okay.
really.
Okay. That's fine. But
uh, but the Podenco, well, around here we are people call us just the Podencos.
I
Podencos.
see.
Royal is actually we're talking about getting rid of Royal because it gives us a little sleaze rock notion to it. I think like these heavy 80s like Slayer or whatever, like this
Like
spandex.
hair metal kind
Yeah,
of.
yeah,
Yeah.
poodle metal. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Motley Crue and
Yeah,
whatever.
which
Yeah.
which was in that time. Well, there was stuff of these bands that I liked. I mean, Guns N' Roses came out of that, even though they were more aggressive and played more blues rock based heavy metal, but or rock.
Mm.
But yeah, so we might just be Podencos on the next album. I'm not sure. We
Are
have
you
to talk
working
about
on a
our.
next? Are you guys working on a next album? What are you doing now?
Yeah, well, I have songs. I always have songs, and we actually started looking at some of them in
Mm.
the last rehearsals, and it's really like I suppose a band in the lifetime of a band, they start to understand with the time that what works and what doesn't work, or
Mm.
at least in our case, because we're not virtuosos, like we can't play everything, even if we have like an idea, we cannot always execute it. So we try to like be I guess you can say we try to be like economical and
Mhm.
let's do this. Let's do. I sometimes compare the Podencos with like you have these pieces of Lego, like
Mhm.
pieces of things that you can
Yeah.
construct something cool with, but you have all this, determined numbers of pieces, and you have to do something cool with that, which is and I think it's very fun. It's fun to try to do something simple but still cool, and it doesn't have to be like 100,000 notes and 100,000. Just
Mhm.
to hit that one note that like kind of at least in the melody. Which when I was
Mhm.
started to compose, I would write a lot of things with the guitar and then put the melody on it.
Mhm.
But now it's almost the other way around. I like a melody come to my head and I think of it in different rhythms or the different, um,
And then you write the lyrics, and I notice obviously your lyrics are all in English, yet you're a
yeah,
band from Spain. Do the
yeah,
other people in the band, do they speak English too?
no, no.
So they
So
have to sing phonetically, or how's it work?
well, sometimes when we have like background vocals, I try to keep it simple
Mhm.
and maybe just them to like giving me, some background vocals and just some words or so, or just maybe one note.
Mhm.
But no, I actually on this record they really got interested in what are you saying?
Mhm. Mhm.
They actually translated some of the lyrics in like in Google Translate, and this is
Mhm.
really good. I don't know. Lyrics to me is like I don't spend too much time. I think I mean it's a song, it's rock music. I don't try to be too poetic or give a message. I just try to like make it sound cool.
Well, do you have any songs in Spanish?
No, we were actually talking about that because Spain right now is really like there's this really national Spanish pop and rock wave going across the country. A lot of bands, you know, do their music in Spanish.
Mhm.
I kind of fool around with it sometimes and try to write things, but I don't know. I've never done it, so it's like a lot of respect. People that does it, that do it well, and
You'd have to
I,
rhyme it, and you'd have to rhyme in Spanish.
yeah, no, that I don't think that would be a problem. Spanish is very like staccato. It's very like much more
That's
rhythmic
true.
rhythm than English, which gives you a lot of more freedom in English to like how do you say like sway to leave the vocal longer
Well,
time in Spanish.
if a word ends in O, then they just draw the vowel out,
Yeah,
O's and A's, and like
yeah,
yeah, uh-huh.
yeah. In Spanish, it will be more rhythm singing, I think. But I'm sure we will try. We were talking about this the other night on the rehearsal, and I was saying maybe we can mix, English and Spanish because, there are some bands do that. Maybe not in rock music or pop, but in rap and like Latino, whatever, they mix a lot of Spanish and English because it's like, well, all this population in the States that, have this
Mhm.
English and Spanish background, or Spanish background, but live in the States, and so why not? We'll see what but I think if we're not, if it doesn't sound like honest, we won't do it. No, we'll see. We'll see.
Mhm. So the other members in the band, what are their influences? Are they garage rock people? Do they obviously grew up in
Yeah,
Spain?
yeah, they are much more. They are like guys that Spain was pretty much like Sweden, I guess, when they were young. We would, have tape music, even record songs from the radio, and have you heard this song and pass on tapes to one another? And but I think they got pretty much into garage rock and old bands here much more than in Sweden. I think maybe Sweden was more like into what was cool and what was hot at the moment. Maybe we got more influences also from the UK and from the US. Spain was, kind of until 75 it was like a dictatorship, so Spain was maybe a little bit behind in some popular cultural meanings, even if they had their big cultural explosion. And
Is what is going on in 2023 with you guys?
we have some shows coming up in the area here, and would love to play some festivals this summer, so we're working on that. And then the idea is to work on new material. So that's our priorities right now. And eventually I have to sit down and start writing lyrics, but that is something I do. Like, I'm not sitting down and write a lyric. I have it in mind, and maybe a phrase comes up or something comes up, and I write it down and, take all these pieces later and kind of put it together. So yeah, I was fun. You said Stockholm City was running on your
Yeah, that's on the
Spotify
playlist.
list because
And I mean,
Stockholm City is like a song from my hometown, I would say, but it's also like there's this guy from Sweden, man, he's Ulf Lundell, which is like a sort of a Bob Dylan, Bruce Springsteen figure in Sweden, and he has this song from the 70s, so I think it's the 70s, that's called Stockholm City, which I love. So I said, and I even take some words and phrases that he used in his
so
lyrics
you
for
paid
our Stockholm
homage.
City.
You paid homage to him.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And not a lot of people, nobody knows that, so it's fun. I had a Swedish friend coming to see our show in Madrid in December, and he said, "Stockholm City. I heard some phrases there. Is that from Stockholm City of Ulf Lundell?" And I said, "Yeah, you heard that,
Are
yeah."
there any other songs that you really like that are your favorite that you really enjoy playing a lot?
I'm very proud of Milky Way, which a lot
And
of
you have a
people like.
video for that one too.
Yeah, I did that video.
Oh, it looks really good. And that was another
Yeah,
thing. So you guys, you're all DIY. You make your own
yeah,
videos, and I
definitely.
really
And
like them.
I've been doing a lot of like videos for work, just homemade videos. So I have this program to this software to like
Do the
put this
editing and all.
together. Yeah, and today with all the apps you can download, like Reface and stuff. I used Reface, which is like you put your face on,
Yeah, and
I
somebody
said
else.
space movies, and all these things comes up, and I try to see what we can do, and it was really fun. And actually, I got a phone call the other day from another band from Santander, and they were like, "Hey, who made that video? Because we're looking for we're gonna do a video for our new record and stuff." And I said, "I did that. You did
Mhm.
that."
Mhm.
And I was actually thinking maybe I can get paid for doing things like that.
That's
No,
excellent. So
yeah,
you're creative in different ways. This
yeah. Well,
branching out.
this creative need, I think, this creative mind that needs to find its way out in different ways. But music is definitely the most fun part. And actually, where we are now, like starting to create songs, is we always say that that's what we enjoy the most. I think when we're like playing together, just trying stuff, and then when the music started to like find a shape and find a form that we like, and that's the most that's the part we like. We really like a band of our, like a rehearsing band. We don't do long tours. If we be 20 or 25, maybe we would do that, but we're like in another stage right now in life. So but we do some shows, and we would definitely go to the UK if the right opportunity shows up. You mentioned that, and
Mhm.
I have some friends there, or maybe England, Scotland. Scotland has a lot
Mhm.
of rock and roll
They have a very active
pop,
scene.
pop,
And like I
yeah.
said, in the summertime, that's when there's festivals and a lot of stuff going on
Hmm.
over there. Just a quick question before we leave. Who are you listening to right now when you go in the car? Are there any bands or favorite
I've
CDs,
been
whatever?
discovering a lot of things on Spotify.
Mhm.
Actually, I've been listening to Camera Obscura, which is like a Scottish band.
Oh,
Very, very poppy. Today I was listening to Alabama Shakes.
oh yeah.
I'm listening quite a bit to a band called Hound Dog, and it's like American indie rock, I would say. I don't know if they're still active. And yesterday I was also listening to Nathaniel Ratcliffe, this gospel blues.
Oh, you're all over the place.
Yeah, I'm
Styles, yeah.
from, yeah, yeah.
Well, I thank you for coming on Rock at Night, our podcast here. I hope to hear more good music coming out of the Royal Podencos, or shall I just say Podencos, right?
Yeah, we'll see. We'll keep you posted on that.
Yeah,
Yes.
and I'll continue listening if you see a lot of hits. It's probably me driving my car in Florida,
Yeah, that's great. That's you and
listening
that and
listening
that.
to the band because I just really it's really and it's well produced too. Your album, the Sarah. I've listened to the other ones. You have like three, I think, but
Yeah,
I've
three.
listened to all of them in the car. So,
Great. Yeah,
well, all right. Well, thank you,
thank you so
Hans,
much. Yeah,
and
it was great being with you, Cerise,
great.
and we're really grateful for all the attention we got from you guys, and it's been honoring to be in the States through you. And I was telling the guys the other day, first time I went to the States, I went to Texas, and I stayed in Texas, but I landed in St. Louis, so it was fun that the connection with St. Louis and the Rock at Night, right? Because there's some kind of connection to St. Louis, isn't it? That the or
Oh,
maybe I got it wrong.
the guy that reviewed was in St. Louis. Yeah.
Oh, he was from
Yeah.
St.
We
Louis.
have
Okay,
people all
yeah.
over the place.
Okay, that's cool.
We have people
All
in
right.
Europe, mostly in the UK.
Oh, really?
Half of the writers are in the UK.
Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
especially for the print magazine.
Mm,
That's
great.
mostly yeah, and I go back and forth to the UK
Yeah. So
to
maybe we
visit.
can
I
meet
just
up
was there in
there.
November.
Maybe we can meet up there on a show of ours.
Yeah, that's where I would see you guys would be the UK. So, thank you very much, and
Thank you, Sheree. Take care.
we'll see you later. Okay,
All right.
bye
Bye-bye.
bye.
Take care.
Here is the Royal Podencos Milky Way.
You're listening to Rock at Night.
The introductory song, Get On Down, is from blues artist Billy Bass Alford. Look for his music at ReverbNation.com.